Well, what is next after curtain fringe? I've had a lot of people asking this question recently, and I always think it's so interesting because we follow these trends and so many things are just happening at once. But the trend of curtain fringe has been going on for a long, long time. And what I always say is when well, if it were my mom, when my mom wants it, then it's probably not going to be around for very much longer. So when all of the moms and all of the women that are in their 50s are starting to get the shag and the curtain fringe, then it's probably time that we're going to start seeing something a little bit different. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, but remember when Wednesday came out and it was like, wow, that fringe looks so different. And it's because it wasn't the traditional curtain fringe. It had just a little bit of interest going on in it that was different. So I just got done doing a class for my Sharp Scissors Society, and that's my monthly membership that is linked in my bio. And we have been covering all sorts of layering patterns. So we started out with face framing, and then we worked into square layers, lowered the elevation, worked to an increase in length, and this was today's haircut. And so it was a little bit different from a traditional shag in that I did not remove all of the hair around the front. I went in and instead I started my layering pattern off of the back of the head. So I did a radial parting ear to ear, and I did a razor cut, and I worked my layering pattern off the back of the head around to the ears, and then over directed. That was everything over directed back. It created this movement as the hair traveled forward. Then instead of doing what I've been doing, because if we always do what we've always done, instead of pulling everything forward to cut, I left it straight down in natural fall. So I just took my razor and I worked around the face in a very organic way. I did not over direct the hair forward. I just held it down and then cut off just the little bits of hair that were hanging forward. So we had this push forward of hair, removal of hair, and then I went in and did almost a blunt fringe underneath. So I'm going to take the fringe and show you what I did on that, because I feel like this is going to be maybe a new way to cut fringe that's going to be a little bit fresher than the traditional curtain fringe. And not that that's bad, it's just we've seen a lot of it. So instead of working off of the high point of the fringe, along with my angel blades, which I'm going to be using next, it's very hard to take off a small amount of hair with the razor. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. And I'm working on dry hair. So let's keep all this out of the way, because I wanted to have a little bit of a veil of hair coming over the top that she could push out of the way if she wanted to, or it could just look very disconnected. And I think that was what was really fresh about that Wednesday Addams fringe, is that you had kind of this full feeling that expanded across the forehead and then this little disconnect right here. So the way I created this fringe was I decided to only work with a small part of the fringe, or not small part, but not the maximum amount. I'm going to take a vertical section right down the middle, and then I'm going to over direct each section to the previous. So here we go. We'll work off of the front because I want it to be heavy and low. Thank you guys for joining. Where are you joining from? I've been just talking. Where are you guys joining from? Okay, so working off the front right here, I'm going to go in and point cut. And you can see that I'm working with a low elevation. So if I turn my hand over here, I always like to say I want to serve tea on top of this. So I don't want to actually lift up and have that teacup slide off the back or go down. Okay, so we've got New Jersey, Arizona, Toronto. I'm going to be in Toronto at the end of April doing hands-on class. Well, actually, it's part of the on tour that Cow Salon Division is having, so Goldwell, KMS. And I'll be there with Jacob Kahn. We're doing 2 days of hands-on class. So actually, I think the second day there are some tickets available. So now I'm going to be over-directing this section into my previous. So it'll progressively get just a little bit longer, won't it? When we over-direct one direction, we get, length going the opposite direction. So just coming in and point cutting. And even though I have a soft edge, I'm removing just a little bit of what I created with the razor edge. So it's a little bit stronger than that razor edge will be. Okay. So my last section is going to be over directed to my previous. So instead of coming straight out or all the way into the center, I'm just coming straight. How to buy tickets. For Toronto, you go to Cow Salon Division, and for Canada, and they should have tickets there. And I'll see if I can find the link and put it up as well in my stories. Okay. So speaking of other classes, since you guys are interested in your classes, thank you. Let's see, Salon Rose. Left my Salon Rose. She has my scissor and she loves them. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, so keeping this out of the way. Okay, so other classes coming up. I'm going to be in, where am I? Chicago for America's Beauty Show. That is April 15th through the 17th. You guys, I swear, sometimes I can't remember where I'm at or even what day it is. So April 15th through the 17th, I'm doing a 3-hour hands-on class. It's called Short Hair, Divide and Conquer. And that is all about short hair. I believe when we break things down into smaller sections, we can understand them a little bit easier and move through things a lot quicker. So I'm going to be in Chicago at the ABS show, the 15th through the 17th, and I believe I have 5 more tickets available for that class. And yes, India, you can buy the scissor. Go to seriousbeauty.com and go to the tools section, and you can see we're right there. Okay, so we've got that. I'm slightly longer on this side, so I must have over-directed a little bit more. So I'll pull that back just a touch and work that. And when you cut off of the front of the head like this, it creates a beautiful bevel. See that, how that rounds right in the front? It's very different than cutting a blunt line or a layered line. So this gives us a nice full wide shape. Okay, so that was that. I'm in Chicago. Then I'm in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, on June 12th, doing a 1-day hands-on cutting class. And the link for that is in my bio. Also, I will be in Atlanta in July, and that is July 8th and 9th. It's a Saturday, Sunday, 2-day hands-on cutting class. It's a signature cutting class. I'm going to be going through a cut similar to this one, moving into short hair. So we're going to cover a lot of ground in that particular class. And links for that are in my bio. So if you've been wanting to know my different methodology, how I consult, talking about face shape, body shape, how you design for the person instead of just from the neck up, those are the things I'll be covering, as well as cutting techniques. So we're going to wrap it all together into a great class where you're going to learn a lot of my methodology. Now, if you're a Sharp Scissors Society member, you get 15% off my education. So Sharp Scissors Society is my monthly membership, and I'd love to see so many more of you guys inside of that. It's really fun. I do expanding on my back pocket techniques. I go live just for you guys, and you get to ask questions. So it's a really cool membership. So take a look at that. And here we have it. We've got this new, do I cut Toni and Guy style? I taught for Toni and Guy for several years. So I have a lot of Toni and Guy in my repertoire, yes. So here we go. We've got that diagonal forward movement for our layering pattern. It sits a little higher here, drops a little lower on the sides, carving around the front, and then creating that nice wide fringe that I think is going to start taking over as just as something new. I don't know if you guys saw Julia Roberts' new haircut. I just saw it today. Strong fringe. It's absolutely beautiful on her. So you guys, I hope to see you soon. I'm going to be in Vancouver this weekend with the on tour there, and then up in Toronto. And I just saw that Didier joined. Hello, Didier. He is one of my cohorts in crime for the Synergy team, which is the new cutting system for Cow Salon Division. And we're going to be teaching that in April, I believe in New York. I think it's New York or it's Toronto, one of the two. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for